When somebody makes up their mind about you and how they want to feel towards you, you don't need to overextend yourself or keep explaining yourself. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Guidance, and that's what we're going to talk about. There are some people in this world who intentionally are going to misunderstand you because of whatever internal issues they're dealing with, or simply because they are just not happy with themselves. Nobody who is happy with themselves is intentionally going to misunderstand you. Nobody who is genuinely aware of themselves, minds their business, and allows other people to take up space is going to be worried about your space. So you have to realize that if people want to judge you and assume things about you or feel some type of way premeditated, allow them to. Those people are not for you. And you trying to overextend or you trying to overexplain, they heard you the first time. Me personally, I've never been the type of person to overexplain something to somebody who I knew was committed. So what are the signs somebody is committed to go against you? They don't listen to you. They don't respect you. Even when you have differences, they tell you that what you're saying is wrong. They're not able to look out of themselves. They're not able to understand your perspective. They're quick to let you know that you just think you know everything, or maybe you're crazy, or maybe you don't know what you're talking about. They're dismissive, they're impatient, and most importantly, they lack the emotional intelligence. When you have differences, it is fine. They also think that when you communicate, everything is an argument. Just because you're communicating doesn't mean it's an argument. Learn to communicate. Healthy communication does not have to be a one-size-fits-all. There are different ways to communicate. There are different ways to express yourself. But to completely shut down or disagree with something or somebody because they don't understand or because it doesn't make sense to you is invalidating. Common sense is not common. So many people be like, oh, it's common sense. Common sense is not common. Just because you know something, just because I know something, or just because they know something doesn't mean everyone internalizes and processes information the same way. And that's another reason why it's no need for you to over-explain yourself. They heard you the first time. It's 2025. If people genuinely wanted to get to know you, why would they already make their mind up about you? So, for example, I've met a lot of shallow people, because I'm calling it like it is. That's just what it is. I've met a lot of shallow people in this world who wanted to have judgment, preconceptions, premeditated. They wanted to have certain expectations. They wanted to see me how they saw themselves. Let's call it like it is. Or they wanted to see me in this way. And when they had the chance to speak briefly or be around me and realized they didn't, they felt some type of way and thought they were going to have access. It does not work like that. I am the type of person that if you already made up in your mind that you didn't like me, or if you already made up in your mind that you wanted to go against what I said, I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm not even going to give you the type of energy. I'm not, because that's disrespectful. If you genuinely wanted to get to know me for myself, you would ask me certain questions. You would come, and your motive and your agenda wouldn't be slimy and it wouldn't be shysty. Like I said, I met some shallow people in this world, and that's why I'm making these videos, because I'm not afraid of nobody. People heard you the first time. That's like my videos. Is everybody in the world a genuine person? Does everybody in the world want to heal themselves and ascend? No, my videos, not for them. I'm not arguing with people back and forth in the comment section. Once you said what you said, once I said what I said, because once again, too, a lot of these people feel entitled. If you say something to me on my page, I am allowed to respond and react. And that's anybody. People are allowed to respond and react however they choose to on their platforms. Nobody is telling you to be here. And it's problematic. And you have to realize that, like I said in the beginning of this video, the most miserable, problematic, chaotic people constantly want to challenge what you say. If what somebody says does not resonate with you, you going out your way to speak on it, it's not going to change what they said or how they felt. Unless you're going to inform and educate, or you're able to accept people's differences, who cares? Nobody's asking you to be here. Nobody's asking you to go out your way to cause chaos. And if you're this person, you can continue to watch this video because you need to do some self-reflection. Because we're not here to judge anybody. We're not here to shame anybody. These videos are to educate and inform, reassurance, confidence, and continue to ascend. And most importantly, inspire you and motivate you daily. But in order for you to do that, we have to have these conversations. It's one thing to ignore education versus not having the education. It's one thing to choose to be ignorant versus being naive, because maybe you don't have the emotional intelligence. Maybe you don't have the wisdom or the discernment. Maybe you don't know how to communicate. Maybe you haven't learned these things. Once again, wherever you fit on the coin, you know. But for those of you who are on the same side of the coin as me, this is who I'm talking to right now. The other side I'll get to in a second. Stop going back and forth. People hurt you. Like, and for people to say, oh, if people don't want you to say certain things, or if you don't want people, you shouldn't post on the internet. Once again, why do you feel entitled to strangers? You don't know people. When people make up in their mind that they want to be mean to you, and then all of a sudden you try to explain and you try to show them that you're a good person, why would you want to be friends with them? The people that made up in their mind how they wanted to feel towards me, you thought I was about to sit here, oh, let me change how I act and change how I talk so they can be my... F those people. Like, what? With logically, and as your favorite mental health specialist, we use our brain over here. Logically and psychologically, it's not mathing. The math isn't mathing. I'm not changing how I am just to make you comfortable. If you said that you didn't like me, why do I need to explain myself? And you need to ask yourself these questions. Instead of questioning what people try to project onto you, ask yourself, why should you change if they said that they didn't like you? If they said they didn't like how you look? If somebody is body shaming you and calling you fat and telling you to lose weight, and then you lose the weight, you think now you're going to allow them to be around you and in your space? Absolutely not. No. Who are you? And you have to realize that I know everyone doesn't know this information. That's why I enjoy making these videos to educate, inform, and raise confidence for those of you who resonate with it. But it's like, it doesn't make sense. I will never and have never and won't ever. And I do encourage you watching this to not either, because it's just like, who are you? Like, when people can't control you, or when people can't even control themselves, they want to like latch on to people, and it doesn't work. It doesn't. Maybe somebody who doesn't know who they are, but it's just like, that's the thing. How can you expect something from somebody you don't know them? To say you don't like somebody means that you have to be around them. Like, you may not agree with everything that everybody does, but to be like, oh, I hate somebody, or I don't like, how do you know? How would you know? And then not just that, the people that will believe things about, because it's crazy what people be saying. Like, it's so crazy how people are just miserable. But like, it's crazy how people will sit here and say stuff about you and then be like, oh, why I heard this and I thought that, and then I realized you weren't. And it's just like, yeah. But me personally, you won't be my friend. I don't want you to be around me. And you can apologize, but I don't believe in rekindling relationships that are not divinely sent. Now, if God sends certain people, ancestors in the universe, that's between you and the Most High and etc. If not, I'm not over explaining myself. You're either gonna resonate or you don't. People understand. Even when people want to deny, because that's the thing, people will sit here and try to deny the truth because they're uncomfortable. They're not confident. They are not able to express themselves. And that's personal. I don't project negative energy onto people just because I feel some type of way. And if I do, I have to check myself. I have to hold myself accountable because it comes back. But whatever is inside of you is going to come out. So people are not mistreating you because they want to mistreat you. People are mistreating you because they mistreat themselves. Like, and there's a whole misconception that, oh, people are going to be mean to you because that's how they feel about you. It's how they feel about themselves. People cannot be mean to you if they're not a mean person. And this doesn't mean that we all as people don't have qualities to be mean or good, but life is about choices. Stop enabling people's excuses, especially as a grown adult. It's degrading. It's very degrading. And my content is for the mature audience. And if you're a younger person, even as a young person, like I said, because your age is a placeholder, it doesn't define you, don't allow people to constantly have you explain yourself, because you need to ask yourself, if this person really cared about you, why would they not be patient with you? Even if you guys get into a disagreement or you guys have misunderstanding, if somebody really cares about the relationship, they're going to come to you. If somebody genuinely cares about you in a relationship, they're going to try to communicate to you. When I care about somebody and I genuinely realize how my actions and behaviors affect that, I'm going to come to you as a woman. If people cannot come to you as a woman or a man, they're not your friend. They don't like you. You should be able to come to people and communicate even when you're wrong and apologize. It's not going to kill you to apologize. It's not going to kill you. But like I said, the only people who want to misunderstand you and like go back and forth and speak on things are like, they're just very problematic and it's chaotic. I'm not here to be gaslit. Commenting on stuff that has nothing to do with you is chaotic. And what you focus on grows. So don't allow the chaotic distractions and these people to affect you. And if you are this chaotic person that's distracting people, you need to figure out why. You really need to sit with yourself, because as you grow older, the resentment that you feel like the world is coming against you is only going to be towards yourself. And a lot of times, yes, it does stem from trauma. But you can't allow that to affect you, because you're not the only person who's been through trauma. Speaking from experience, I had to make a decision regardless of the hand that I was dealt with. And same with the rest of the people in this world who decided to overcome their trauma. So if you're going to be here with purpose. Don't waste your time, because that's what people do. When you focus on people, places, and things that are not for you, you're wasting your time. And it only affects you. Watching people who are doing the things that you want to do and you always have something negative to say doesn't change. It's not going to change your situation. It's not helping you. If you don't want to agree with somebody, you can say, you know what, Ty, I don't necessarily agree with you, but I understand you or I relate to you. Or could you explain, like you could tell when somebody wants to get to know you. If somebody doesn't want to get to know you, they don't have to. And that's fine. Because everyone, like I said, everyone is not going to get to know me because I don't want to get to know you. Okay? Like, me, myself, and I, that's all I got in the end. That's what I found out. Okay? I know that I will never disappoint myself, okay? Like, seriously, like, nobody's dealing with that. So if you have questions, comments, and concerns, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you're commenting down below. Make sure you subscribe. And most importantly, turn on your post notification bells. But, like, we're not dealing with it. We're not dealing with it at all, okay? And when you follow me on all social media platforms, all the information will be down in the description box below. And if you want me to talk about a topic that I haven't already, let me know in the comment section or on my Instagram and on my TikTok and my story. And I'll be going live answering any comments, questions, and concerns, or in the section here on YouTube in the community section through the polls. And you could book a service with me if you want to have like a more intimate, laid back vibe. Of course, when you see these videos on social media, the energy does have to be up here because it just needs to be said the way it needs to be said. The truth has no filter, and you should not be offended if you're being truthful, if you're not out here intentionally hurting and harming people. Instead of being offended about what people are saying, be offended about what you're doing, because the tone and what you say is still what is being said. So like, people are like, oh, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. It's both. If somebody's upset and they're mad and they're sad, they're going to speak in a certain type of way, and you don't get to invalidate that. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You don't have to force it. But going back and forth, people hurt you. You never have to over-explain yourself to somebody who wants to know you. And like I said, pay attention. Pay attention to the people who are constantly trying to challenge you and trigger you. And just ask yourself, like, what's the substance? What's the real motive? Like, why are you so bothered that I just said what I said? What does this have to do with you? Like, what's the issue? As long as you guys are not harming yourself and other people, what's the problem? Like, everyone is entitled to their own opinions. That's why it's important to mind your business and stay in your lane. Because when you start to mind other people's business and you don't stay in your lane, now you're not moving forward. And you're the only person who's bitter and has this envy and resentment. Okay? Love you. Bye.